So today we are going to repair this HP 2013 UltraSlim docking station. The problem with this one is, it's a very common problem with these. You can see the small hooks that actually hook into the computer when you dock it. It's all loose. I'll show you how a good one looks. Okay, so this is the way it's supposed to look. So when you dock it, it will hook into the computer, securing it in place. But they break when you put excessive weight or load on the hook itself, basically trying to push the computer into the docking station wrongly. And we're gonna fix it. So first off, we need to take the back off. So you'll need Torx driver T10, I think it is. So basically you just unscrew all this. Oh, you might need a T8 for the small ones and a T10 for the larger ones. So the bottom row here is the small ones. So you basically remove all the screws you can see in the bottom here. Because it's held in a little bit with clips. So bottom off, they come out in two pieces. So we have three crosshead screws here. One here, and one over here. Now you can push the logic board a little bit towards you as you try to wiggle it out of the holes for the connectors here. And then you can bend it over a little bit, and it's good if you have something to lean it against, so you put some strain relief on the ribbon cable here. Okay, so now you can see this screw is all loose here. That's part of the problem. And the same thing goes over here. This is all loose as well. These screws are securing the hooks in place. And since the hooks are all fallen down into the docking station, that is part of the problem, that these screws come loose. So basically I can just remove it. And as you can see here, let's see if I can get some focus. The part where the screw threads into has come loose as well. This yellow gold thing is supposed to be securely in place, embedded into the plastic of the casing. So over here is where the brass things with the thread, basically one of these, is supposed to be sitting in this hole in the plastic securely, and you can see it has broken off a bit of the plastic here. There's the hook, and this thing slides, but the big-headed screw actually holds the hook elevated so it can hook into the laptop and not sunk down like it's now. So we need to glue the threads back into here. So basically we are going to get a pair of pliers and screw off the brass ring here and glue it into the plastic, and then screw down the screw while the glue is still at least not completely hardened. I'll show you in a minute. Okay, so in order to get the brass ring off the screw here, I'm taking a rather large pair of needle nose pliers, I think they're called, and just grab on to it. Quite securely you need to grab onto it, because these are pretty tight. And then you screw it out. This step is not completely necessary, because you could just place glue in the hole here and push the screw in as it is. But I like to see that it actually stays where it's supposed to stay. Small screws. I will be using this Loctite Super Glue in this new fancy bottle, and basically I will place the glue just in the hole. Don't use too much, as it actually flows very easily, and you don't need much for it to bind. And I take the needle nose pliers and I put this in the hole just like that. And you need to push it in so you see it actually goes flush with the plastic. Otherwise you will not get the screw in the correct way. You need to position the screw correctly, then screw it back in. You might require a little bit of force down to actually get it in place. And I'll show you the other screw without actually removing the brass thing, just in case someone wants to go a bit easier route, which I suppose should work just as well. After the glue has been drying for just a little bit, you can check so this part moves freely, so you didn't accidentally glue it in place. Because otherwise you will have a little bit of problem, which you probably could solve by forcing it, force the glue to break free. Okay, so with this next one, I will actually glue it all in place without removing the brass ring. So, same way, put the glue in the hole, make sure it actually comes on the sides and not only inside the hole. It needs to actually be on the walls of this small hole here, because that's where the brass ring will bind to the plastic. Then you just place it in. Push down quite hard, so it's seated properly. You can wiggle it around a little bit and use the screwdriver just to make sure it's tight and correctly positioned. And also again, you can check to make sure there's not too large of a gap between this moving part, which is actually the hook on the other side. You can see here, the hook is this one. It needs to move freely, but without too much slack, because otherwise the hook will fall into this docking station again and cause the same problem. Okay, and now when we have glued both these screws back in, we can close it all up by folding over the logic board again, making sure that the slider, which is connected to the insert, the thing you push to insert the connector from the docking station into your computer, is pushed in. Otherwise the logic board will not go into its proper place. Then you seat it in, make sure all the connectors are lined up with their holes, and it should pop into place. You can see these plastic parts need to be flush with the circuit board. That's how you can tell if it's properly seated or not. This one goes up here. Oh. I really need to magnetize this Phillips driver. It's okay, snug, but not too snug. That is key. And the last one goes into this one. Okay, so logic board secured. And now we can actually turn it over to make sure that this part works properly. As you can see, the hooks now are in their correct position and it will be ready for use. So we will put the back plate on and call it job done. Okay, this needs to go on the right way, of course. And it clicks into place. That's why it's a bit hard to get apart. Okay. Good as new HP 2013 UltraSlim docking station. There you go.